Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you guys what good and bad retention looks like, how to study your audience retention on the YouTube Studio dashboard. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is what a bad audience retention looks like. Now the video I'm on right now, you guys can see, is actually performing really bad. So right here, this blue graph or this blue line right here is what this specific video is performing at. The gray, you see this giant gray right here graph, this is what my typical video performance is performing at. You can tell it's massively underperforming compared to what I would want it to perform at. And so this kind of tells you, all right, this isn't really a good video. And so we could go to the reach and see what the click-through rate is. And if you see the click-through rate isn't amazing, but it's decent. It's getting somewhere, right? The click-through rate is going somewhere. It's not amazing, to be honest. It's definitely declining, but it's not incredibly bad. What is incredibly bad is this audience retention. When you try to figure out, okay, why is this video dying? The reason why it's dying is A, the CTR is bad, but not only that, most importantly, this retention right here, 35% retention, that's not a good retention. That retention isn't usually good. On a 10-minute video, I usually try to get above 40% audience retention. I've noticed, and I'll show some screenshots on this video, whenever my audience retention drops under 40%, just the slightest bit, it could be 0.5% dropped under 40%, my views cut in half on that video. It's just weird. And so that is why I recommend, guys, you always try to aim for 40% or over 40% audience retention. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean if you're at the beginning stages, guys, if you're getting less than 1,000 views per video, guys, don't worry. Okay. Because that is not going to be enough data. Okay. You can still study your data with less than 1,000 views, but it's still not enough data to truly get an accurate answer on what you're performing or what you're doing bad or what you're doing good. Okay. So this whole entire thing is mainly focused upon people who are trying to study their audience retention and click-through rate, this whole section, who are getting an average of over 1,000 views per video. That's when you really want to do data. That's when you really want to look at your data and figure out how to improve even more, because you do need a certain amount of views to get the correct information and data. But my point is, this got enough data. This got enough information for me to be like, okay, is this a good video or a bad video? And so right here, the issue is, again, the audience retention is just bad. And because the audience retention is bad, I'm not getting that many views on this video, and it's overall killing itself. So how do you study your audience retention? Okay, how do you actually look at the audience retention, figure out what you did good, what you did bad, etc.? Okay, so let me go ahead and show you guys an example. If I go ahead and check this one out, so this right here is what you call a good audience retention. All right, so you guys can see in this area, this is pretty much a 49% audience retention right here. It's 5 minutes. You guys can tell that's pretty good, like I said. Now, here's the thing. When I was looking at this graph for the first time, I saw this massive pop-up right here. And I was like, that is super strange, right? Like, why is there, this kind of shows so this is pretty much the average people are watching your video. You can see how many people is clicking off of the video throughout the entire video. And then all of a sudden people rewind or they join the video. They don't even watch the video at the very beginning. They literally join the video right here. And so the question is, okay, so what is actually happening here? So the way you study this audience retention is you go to see more. You click on see more, it'll come up with this entire little dashboard studio thing that you can study. And usually what you can do, guys, is you can actually play the video. And as you play the video, let me turn the video down because I don't want the audio to get in the way. But as you play the video, guys, this little thing right here will start to move on the bottom. And so as it starts to move, you can kind of study, okay, what happened? Why did people drop off of the video? Why did people click on the video? That is mainly what you're trying to focus on. You're trying to see if people clicked off the video. If you see a massive drop right here, let's say you see a massive drop right here and decline immediately, right here, then usually you can go ahead and look at this video, and you can go to where that timestamp is, where that specific time is, and you can watch your own video and see what it was that made people click off your video. All right, that'll give you a good idea of what not to do, what to do. And so you want to take note of that, right? You don't want to repeat the same mistake. If you said something in the video that made people click off the video, most likely don't do it again, right? It's stuff like that. Now, let's go to what actually we want to pay attention to, though. You guys can see right here. I'm curious, what is happening here, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out where that timestamp is. I can click right here. So I can click 50 right here. That's around this time. Okay, so if I'm studying this, what I can do is I can watch what happened in the video, and you guys can see that all of a sudden it's getting close to the peak. This is where people start like joining the video. This is where people are rewinding, or they're pausing the video and then playing the video. This is where everyone is actually watching the video. What happened here? You guys can see right now on the video a fight. There's a fight going on. People are getting into a really big basketball fight, like a physical fight. And so this is what I'm saying, guys. This shows me that people are feeding on the intensity, the fight moments. That's what people love. They love the fight. And obviously I'm not saying to go out of your way to make every video of yours a fight video, but I'm just saying this is an example of, okay, why did this video seem to get, or this moment in the video seem to get a lot of traction? It's because people are getting into a nice little fight, all right? A nice little knuckle fight. And so that gives me a good idea. Okay, maybe I could do more fight videos, or maybe this is just one of those videos where it's like, whatever. Like maybe it's whatever. It's one of those things where people just randomly decide to share the timestamp right here with one of their buddies or something to see this moment. And so that kind of gives you a good idea of how you can study your audience retention to see what you did good, maybe what you did bad, and just understand that and then take notes and improve in the future videos. Now, one thing I want to show you guys that has extremely helped me was right here. If you guys can see right here, it says the type. You can go ahead and select, I do both. You can select relative audience retention. Okay, so what relative audience retention is YouTube goes ahead and compares your video with the same amount of length of time with other people's videos with the same amount of length of time in the similar content type, similar content niche. And so what you can see, guys, is you can see if your video is performing better, like audience retention wise, compared to the average person. And you guys can see this video is actually performing better than the average person in my niche or average length of video. And so right here, this line right here is what the other this is what the normal people, their average. This is what the average is, this black line on the very bottom that you guys can see. And so like I said, the entire video, my stuff was above average, and that's really good. Now, if we go ahead and look at another video to give you guys another example on relative audience retention, you guys can see at the very beginning of my video, on this other video, it did pretty good. It was above average, but look, it started to decline massively right here. And now it became just average, and then sometimes below average almost. And so is this a good thing or bad thing? This isn't necessarily a bad thing. This video got 53% audience retention, so that's not a bad thing. It's okay. We're good. The issue is when you see this thing completely plummet down. So here's an example. This is the bad video that I was showing you guys in the very beginning of the video that only got 35%. We can actually go to relative and see what happened. And look what happened here. This is really weird. So it started off average. It completely plummeted. After 2 minutes, it plummeted. It wasn't doing that great. So the question is, okay, why did it go back up? And why was it plummeting so low right here?
Missed a 3. In the post-game interview, Stevenson stated his opinion about James. He's overrated.
Okay, so what I did is I went ahead and quickly went through this video to see like what happened. And this is what happened in that moment where everything started to plummet on my audience retention. So right here, guys, throughout my video right here, I have my commentator. He's quoting a specific thing that another NBA player has said. So he's quoting a celebrity. Here's the issue, and I'm bad, I'm bad as a team leader because I have video editors who help edit these videos for me, and what I noticed is that my video editor decided to be lazy and he didn't edit any of the quotes in. We have like a nice animation graph that has like a quote and everything. He didn't add any text with the quote right here. So what ended up happening is my narrator was talking and re-saying word for word what the quote was, but the issue was my editor never put any text to follow it up. And so people who's watching the video are like, okay, I'm confused what's happening. I can't follow the story. It's kind of getting boring and dull really quick. And so they lose interest. And so they'll probably skip through the video to get to another point of the video, or altogether they end up leaving, which is why, like I said, you guys can see people probably skipped a little bit through the video to around 6 minutes to pass that moment that was kind of boring to see the rest of the video. And that's why this kind of got past average at the very end of the video, was because of that moment. And so that is kind of what you want to pay attention to, guys, is take notes of that. Figure out why did this perform less than all the others. But that's pretty much how you study audience retention, guys. I personally always try to aim above 40% audience retention. The goal is just to continually improve your audience retention, and you'll usually see some good success down the road.